Vipi wasee, Ndegs hapa kutoka BoxtoBox. Na hii ni recap ya gameweek 1. Leo nataka tuangalie squad yetu vile ilifanya, madrama za akina Gabriel kudropiwa, akina Stones kutocheza. Mazi vitu zili happen hii weekend. Alafu obviously tutaangalia replacement wa KDB and what we intend to do with the squad moving forward. So without further ado, we got 67 points this week. Pickford, obviously, points mbili maze hata sijui, but I don't know how they lost that game. They actually attacked like mad. Like they were just missing chance after chance. Then Fulham get one chance and score, and Mitrovic wasn't even starting. It was Jimenez. Chilwell showed how far forward he'll be moving for Chelsea. Alikuwa tu mbele. He had a disallowed goal, he had an assist, like he played very well. So him is a mainstay, hapo hakuna kutoka. Estupinian kama kawaida, kuattack tu kama wazimu. Like he was in the opposition half, like no one's business. Gabriel obviously came on, gave us this 1 point. Arsenal were reeling at the end there. It was 2-1. And 87th minute, Arteta decided to bring him on and give him that 1 point. So ata angecheza, Udogi angeingia na hiyo point moja. So doesn't really make a difference. Alafu in midfield, Saka was our captain, 10 points. So kulikuwa na rumor fulani that wase wa Man City watacheza, which was true for Stones and Ruben Diaz. But KDB had only played 26 minutes in preseason. So in my head, I was like, they can't play KDB in this game. So KDB, Stones, Nina, those are too many. And then also Burnley coming in, young team, promoted team, coming with energy, young coach, former player for Pep. They'll come together. But they didn't. Haaland managed to score 2 goals, got full bonus 3, and got 13 points. So that's why we captained Saka instead of Haaland. But Saka also came through, got full bonus, scored a goal. And this is the advantage of captaining midfielders to strikers. I think the only exception is Haaland, because Haaland scores like crazy. Just as Saka only scored 1 goal and he got bonus. Obviously, he only got 3 less points. Captain-wise, that's 6 points less if someone else captained Haaland. Lakini, kukuwa na midfielder mwenye na produce ni poa. No, Kim captain, it's a big advantage. Trossard, I expected him to come a bit earlier. I thought Arsenal wangekuwa na ma chances more towards the end of the game. That didn't really happen. So I will still stick with him. For East, team yangu nilisamania 3 weeks. Nione vile itafanya 3 weeks. So I can't do away with that game plan for now. Rashford nayo alikaliwa na Wolves. This one I don't think kuna msali expect. Wolves walikalia Manu mbaya. Rashford at least alimanage clean sheet, akatupatia 3 points. Diogo Jota naye alianza game, which was also not really a surprise, but yeah, he started. Many people thought Nunez would start. I thought Jota would start after watching him in preseason. Again, kuna vitu zingine niliona preseason zilinisaidia kuchagua hii team, and nilikuwa nimeka hii video alafu msaka pin comments hapo hivyo, I think ilikuwa IG ati there's no need of watching preseason, the real deal. I'm like, but in terms of FPL, you have to watch preseason. That is how I also found out about João Pedro, and that is what I saw with Chilwell. Nilikuwa na debate sana within Chilwell na Colwill, but it was a no-brainer at the end because of having watched preseason games. Anyway, with Jota, he didn't really produce, but wacha tuone vile atafanya. I'll have him for another 3 weeks. Mbeumo, of course, aliget pena. Alifunga pena versus Tottenham. Brentford versus Tottenham. Visa pia alikam through, alifunga bao. In all of that, Mbeumo didn't even get a bonus. But kuendelea mbele, at least you can see this attack will be centered around him. So ukiangalia squad, there are many people that eventually nitakuwa na wala say the defense or the midfield or the striking is really centered on them and hawezi tolewa. Watkins, of course, aliget assist kwa bao ya Diaby. Walichapoko 5-1, but alikam through. Joao Pedro, kwa hiyo attack yote ya Brighton, mtoi 19 ama 20 year old anaanza, amepewa number 9, anachukua pena mbele ya kila mtu, like he actually, and he also played 90 minutes. He was subbed off, I think 90th minute if I'm not wrong. So it's good to see that at striker of 5.5, who his value is probably gonna go up by the time this video is out, is getting a chance to play and is playing as a striker at a team that's potent. I think Brighton had the highest XG this whole weekend. Now we're just going to go into the captain picks. So the captains, the most selected captains for this week were obviously Haaland and Saka. And if you compare the two, as I said earlier, Saka had got 10 points. As a midfielder, that's good. that you can only score one goal na una compete na msa amefunga bao 2 na amepata bonus pia unacheki. Na hii akuget clean sheet by the way. So angeget clean sheet actually ningekuwa tu 1 point behind, which is 2 points juu Haaland ni captain. Ningekuwa tu 1 point behind. So yeah, but hata the ball ifunga it was a worldie. So had he not scored that tungekuwa pabaya. But kuendelea mbele, as I said earlier, the reason why Haaland hakuanza kwa squad ni kulikuwa na rumors. So tukasema tu squad inaweza kuwa weekend, but learn your lesson guys. Squad za Pep ni squad ya Pep, ni system. Usiangalie hivyo. So tukiingia hivi hii game week 1, of course excitement nini. Arsenal squad ikaingia Gabriel achezi. So Gabriel is the most owned FPL defender, and one of the reasons why we are choosing him ni aezi hata game. Gabriel aanzi, Thomas Partey anaanza right back. Bazi. Hey, I can't even describe how people felt at that moment. But anyway, vile nilisema mapema, Gabriel came on, gave us 1 point. Alinkshwa tu kushow up game. But kitu interesting ilikuwa when vile Partey alikuwa anacheza, ukiangalia kwa hii average position, number 5 ni Partey, number 4 ni Ben White, number 2 Saliba, number 12 ni Timber. Hiyo defense basically sort of anacheza mid. Kuna msi, of course, White ana cover right side kiasi, but hiyo ni almost as a result of tukikuwa na ball, mimi ni fan wa Arsenal by the way. Tukiwa na ball ilikuwa back 3 ya Timber, Saliba na Ben White. So unaona wamespread, wamecover each side of the field. But in terms of building up play, White is even outside of Partey, na Partey ndiye alikuwa right back. So I think it's just to tell us that in terms of FPL, any person who plays right back up Arsenal, if tukicheza na hii formation na hii system, because this system itakuwa ina change from game to game, which is why I expect Gabriel to start this weekend, also because of Timber's injury. But his squad itakuwa ina change from game to game. Na vile tumeona Partey, I mean, whoever plays right back there, be it Partey, be it Ben White, they're not really FPL assets. So I think, again, if you really need to invest in an Arsenal defender, it has to be between Saliba and Gabriel at this point. I don't think there's anyone else you can target. As you can see here through the heat map, yes, he was named right back, but most of his actions were in the middle of the field. So he was basically playing as a midfielder, and they played with a 2 with Declan Rice in the middle. Something big that came out of this weekend, game week 1, was KDB's injury. So it's just been announced that he's going to be out for 4 months. 4 months without KDB. Pep has to come up with a solution. Hapa tukiwa in the City squad, I think solution ni mbili. It's either Foden ama Alvarez. Game yao ya kwanza unaweza cheki, Alvarez aligeta assist kwa game ya kwanza. They both had the same shots and same shots on target, but Alvarez shots zake zilitoka ndani ya D3, but XG ya Foden ilikuwa a bit higher. Foden barely creates one chance compared to Alvarez 0. And the 6 key passes for Alvarez compared to Foden shows the places yenye umsa alikuwa in the field. He's very high up. Foden akingia kwa hii squad atakuwa anacheza almost like a free role, I guess, almost like what KDB does, but hawezi jua na Pep. But having him in the team is important. So I just think as an FPL asset, obviously I think Foden is a better asset compared to Alvarez, but Foden atakuwa na atacheza more minutes obviously juu say wako tu na Alvarez na Haaland kama strikers. With the number of games that are coming this season, when Haaland needs to rest, Alvarez will have to play up front. So I don't think Pep atakuwa anamchezesha sana mid if he needs the cover hapo mbele. So within the squad, within the Man City squad, I think the go-to people will be Alvarez and Foden. But in terms of FPL, Foden would be the better option. But tonight, Sevilla play Man City. So we want to see how they cope without KDB. Tuone vile wanacheza kwanza, tuone where we can come in and either have Alvarez or Foden. So hiyo game itakuwa muhimu. It will be the first game without KDB. but only Pep. You still don't know what he's doing, but I mean, it's insight. That would also help us know if Stones and Diaz are back. So Stones apparently was a thigh injury. That's what Pep said. And then Diaz had a concussion. And in Premier League, ukipata concussion, you have to stay 7 days out before you play. So finally, I just want to look at two people that you should be looking at as possible replacements for KDB. And the first one is going to be Rashford. If you don't have him, his next he has good game weeks. I think the next 4 game weeks, and he's expected to score about 28.6 points. So this is someone that you should definitely be looking at in terms of his projections are looking really good. And then the second person I want you guys to think about is Mbeumo. Mbeumo is getting a lot of attacking stats. He's getting a lot of chances, or rather, he'll be at the end of many chances. He missed a sitter against Tottenham as well, and that would have meant he'd have 2 goals. So at 6.5, insane value, takes penalties, the main man at Brentford without Tony. And yeah, so these are the 2 players you need to think about while trying to consider Uta replace KDB na nani. Yeah, so some of the key stats from this weekend that I found very interesting. Hiyo game ya Crystal Palace, Eze had 8 shots. 8 shots. Na sahi unasikia Chelsea watakuruna Ulise, which means everything will just be going through Eze. Callum Wilson had the most shots on target this weekend with 4. Odson Edouard had 7 shots on target, and he scored the winning goal as well. Isak had the highest XG, but I think Wilson, Isak, Izoma stats, they're also a bit skewed simply because when Tyrone Mings aliumia, they had to bring in Pau Torres, who's a new signing. This is Aston Villa. Now wakaleta Diego Carlos, mwenye aliumia Achilles last year. So there are 2 people who really haven't played much, either for the team or have been out injured. So you need to be careful with those stats. Eze also had 7 key passes, the most in the league in game week 1. Eze is clearly becoming uomse. At 6.5 million, anaweza kupatia value wazimu, na nimse na I am looking at tremendously. Ningekuwa na sub 2, I think tungekuwa tushamuingisha by now. But we want to see how he does against Arsenal, alafu tuone if we are going to bring him in or not. That's one of the changes that we're looking at making, which we'll talk about later. Then big chances created with 2, the Barnes, Onana, James, Henry, Estupiñán, and Gordon. Rico Henry is good there. He left back for Brighton and he was creating lots of chances. Reece James Pia on the left side of Liverpool's defense. And then Barnes and Gordon, as I said earlier, Newcastle walikuwa tu na Aston Villa walikuwa tu na mashida, so Newcastle really capitalized on that. Then Estupiñán had the expected assist of 1.02, the highest in the league over the weekend. So Estupiñán is already ahead in terms of all the defenders, because in this entire list it's only him and Rico Henry as defenders. And also an interesting one was Onana. Onana had 2 big chances created. That is wild. He was their best midfielder of the day. That is a crazy start. And then in terms of teams, obviously Brighton had 27 shots. That is insane. I think someone else had 24 and Wolves had 23 against United. XG Newcastle 4.61. They scored 5 goals. So hapo wali overperform. Alafu converted obviously Palace, Man City. Worst XG Burnley na Sheffield. Alafu most FPL points within the team ni Man City.